Brian knows day in a minute. After a whole night of unfinished homework, Brian comes to school sleeping on a school bus. To ease his hungry soul, Brian obtains food from generous Junko-sensei's room. Quite oftenly, Brian falls asleep during class. This is a serious phenomenon that he has to overcome. During breaks, he has interesting conversations with his few friends, such as Adrian. During lunch, Brian visits the library to finish his unfinished homework from last night. Then, something very intriguing happens. He falls asleep. The cycle continues, day after day after day after day after day, probably until he graduates.